I had just turned 17 that summer, and the night shifts for Quick-Courier were my way of saving for community college. The work was simple. Pick up sealed packages from the depot, scan the barcode, let the GPS guide me, and snap a photo when the job was done. Most runs were two well-lit porches or apartment lobbies. Once in a while, I'd drop something at a 24-hour warehouse on the industrial side of town. Nothing had ever felt dangerous, just dull, late-night driving with cheap coffee and classic rock radio to keep me awake. It was a little after 11 p.m. when my dispatcher, Cole, radioed in a one-off order, a small brown box, prepaid, same-day rush. He sounded half asleep. Last run of the night, Aaron. The address is 301 Old Quarry Road, edge of town. GPS says 22 minutes. Old Quarry Road rang a faint bell somewhere beyond the river, where farms gave way to woods and the pavement ended. I didn't argue. More miles meant a fatter tip, at least on paper. The depot lights fell away behind me as I crossed the Cedar River and followed County H out toward the dark fields. Mid-October, air pressed cold against the windshield and frost trimmed the drainage ditches. Every house I passed sat dark, except for the blue glow of living room TVs. 20 minutes in, my cell signal dropped to one shaky bar. That was normal out here. Just empty land cut by a two-lane road and radio towers blinking in the distance. The GPS voice told me to turn left onto Old Quarry Road, but what appeared was hardly a road. It was a cracked strip of asphalt, sinking beneath weeds, lined by leaning mailboxes speckled with rust. I slowed to a crawl and double-checked the screen. Arrive in 0.2, trees closed over the hood, swallowing the last street lamp behind me. Only my high beams showed the next bend. When the headlights finally washed over 301, it didn't look like any home I'd ever delivered to. A two-story farmhouse, paint peeled to bare wood, sat back from the road at the end of a gravel pull. In every window I could see had broken glass or warped plywood nailed across it. The porch rail sagged in the middle. A January edition of the local paper, yellow with mold, lay in a stuffed mailbox, still flagged up. No curtains, no lights, no parked cars. Yet the GPS map displayed a bright green pin, destination reached. I killed the engine and listened. Nothing but the tick of cooling metal and wind through brittle leaves. No dogs barking, no TV noise, no sign that anyone had stepped inside that house in years. Company rules said I should attempt delivery, but everything in me whispered that the request was a prank or worse. I reached for the shift lever to back out. It came from the front door. 3 slow raps, solid wood, striking against wood, not the hollow tap of a branch. I froze with my hand on the keys. A thin porch post blocked most of the entryway, but I could make out the door standing half open, swaying, as if whoever knocked had retreated just out of view. My phone read 11:37 p.m. I pulled up the number listed on the order form. 2 rings, then voicemail. The message was brief and badly recorded, like someone whispering into a tape recorder from across the room. Leave the box and walk away. No name, no greeting, nothing else. The line was cut. A cold spike slid down my ribs. If this was a sick joke, whoever planned it knew the exact moment I would call. The sensible move was to get out, drive back to town, log a failed delivery, and argue about it tomorrow. But I pictured Cole yawning in the office and the $30 bonus slipping away. I also pictured telling my mom I'd bailed because a door knocked by itself. Pride won for a moment. I grabbed the package, shoebox-sized, ordinary cardboard, no return label, and stepped into the damp gravel. The porch groaned under my sneakers. Up close, The door looked worse. Old varnish bubbled, knob missing, hinge screws pulled half loose. The empty crack behind it was pitch black. I set the box dead center on the welcome mat. Welcome, almost worn to nothing. Took a quick photo for proof and turned to leave. My phone's camera flash lit the siding for a split second. When the glare faded, I saw something new. A narrow rectangle of light had appeared deep inside, like a flashlight beam angled at the floorboards. It drifted left, then vanished. That was enough. I jogged down the steps, shoes slipping on moss, and jumped into the driver's seat. The starter cranked once, twice, then died with a dry click. Battery, impossible. I'd replaced it 2 weeks earlier. I tried again. Nothing but the dome light flicker. Out of the mirror, I caught movement. The front door easing wider until the black gap was 2 feet across. Nobody stepped out. Instead, the brown box, my box, slid backward across the porch, scraping wood even though no hand touched it. Then the door swung shut. I admit it, I yelled. No words, just panic. I popped the hood release and scrambled out with my flashlight, pretending I would check the cables, though I knew I wouldn't find anything. Under the open hood, everything looked normal. Clamps snug, leads clean. The flashlight beam trembled in my grip. From up at the house came a long, slow screech of nails. Dragging across glass, and the shattered front window lost another shard to the ground. I slammed the hood and started down Old Quarry on foot, phone held high for a bar of service. Gravel popped under each step, echoing in the silence. After 50 yards, the porch light, no, there was no porch light, somehow flashed behind me. It was probably my mind recycling the earlier flashlight beam, but I did not turn around to check. The first sign of help was Deputy Matheson's cruiser cresting the hill 15 minutes later. I swung both arms until he stopped. His mustache twitched when the story tumbled out of me, half coherent. But he took it seriously enough to radio the incident and offer a lift back. When he turned the cruiser into the drive, our headlights painted the porch, door closed, window shards glittering. The box was gone. Matheson left his spotlight on the steps and drew his sidearm. "Wait here," he said. I didn't argue. He pushed the door with 2 fingers. It swung inward smoothly, as if the hinges had never sagged. His flashlight bobbed over empty floors, peeling wallpaper and mounds of tea-colored insulation. I caught a whiff of rot rolling from the opening. Then, clear downstairs, he muttered into his radio. Checking the 2nd floor, minutes crawled, wind rattled the gutter, but nothing else moved. Finally, Matheson emerged, face pale in the beam. "No power, no furniture, no one inside," he said. "The only thing I found is this loom." He held up a Polaroid photo, sealed in a sandwich bag. The picture showed the porch in daylight, boards less warped, but still weary. On the mat sat a different cardboard box. Under it, a date scratched in pen, April 2018. The same day, an article later confirmed that the Baker family disappeared from Cedar Rapids without a trace. Back at the station, detectives dug up records. 301 Old Quarry had been condemned 3 years earlier. Utilities cut, property tied up in probate. Delivery companies blacklisted the address after several prank orders in 2020. Why QuickDash's system let tonight's job through was anyone's guess. I drove home in a loaner van near dawn, sleep-deprived and wired, telling myself it was too strange to fear anymore. By noon, curiosity beat exhaustion, and I opened my laptop. A simple search showed someone had posted free stuff, porch pickup only ads, using the same address for months. The listings all vanished after a few hours, no seller replies. Each ad ended with the same line: "Leave the box and walk away." I closed the lid and tried to forget. Weeks passed. Halloween came and went, cold and quiet. I stopped working night shift, switched to afternoons, and started carrying a cheap tire iron under the seat. December 6th hit with sleet and early darkness. I got home from school, dumped my backpack, and stepped onto the porch for the mail. A package rested against the door. No tape, no label, just plain brown cardboard the size of my shoe. My stomach folded in on itself. There was a note tucked under the twine. "Thank you for your delivery, Aaron. Here's our photo. Thought you should keep it. 3 2001s. Inside the box lay the same Polaroid Deputy Matheson had shown me. Only now a second picture clung to it with aging Scotch tape. The new shot froze me. It was taken from the darkness of March Front Hall, aimed through the half-open door at a teenage courier standing on the porch. The flash lit his branded jacket, my jacket, and the barcode scanner in his hand. My own eyes stared back, startled and unaware. From less than a month earlier, I called Matheson. The evidence techs bagged the photos, dusted the cardboard, and found no prints. They promised extra patrols near my place, but admitted they had no idea who was behind it. The case went cold before Christmas. I graduated the next spring, left for Des Moines, and tried to bury the memory in freshman homework and dorm noise. Yet, every few weeks, I wake from a half-dream of gravel underfoot and hear that voicemail breathe against my ear. Leave the box and walk away. And I wonder what might have happened if I hadn't.